So, good evening, Sir Jay, and good evening, Josh. So,
Sir.
for tonight, ayun, good evening po. So, for tonight po, we'll have a recap po about thermodynamics, specifically on ways to calculate your enthalpy of reaction. So, di ba naalala mo, Josh, we have this enthalpy and the different thermodynamic parameters that we've discussed. Yung enthalpy, entropy, and Gibbs free energy. And enthalpy is a very important thermodynamic parameter because this will help us determine kung endo or exothermic yung isang reaction. So let me share lang po my slide. Yan, so share ko lang po ito. Ayan. So we'll now have our enthalpy of reaction. So before we proceed with enthalpy of reactions, let's define first enthalpy. So again, what is enthalpy, Josh? Can you recall? Naalala mo pa ba yun? Enthalpy?
It's the heat of reaction po.
Okay, yeah. Literally, it's the heat involved in any process. Though, hindi lang sa mga reaction nangyayari yung change in heat, right? So, pwede rin siya mangyari sa process. But if you're given a chemical reaction, it's either it will produce heat or it will need heat for the reaction to occur. Paano kapag um, let me change lang ito. Paano kapag ang reaction will require heat? Anong tawag natin sa mga reaction na yun, Josh?
Endothermic.
Okay, good. So we have endothermic reactions. So this one requires heat, right? And then, paano naman yung kabaliktaran niya? Reactions that produce heat.
Exothermic.
Very good. So we have the exothermic reactions. Ngayon, I want you to recall what is the sign for delta H pag endothermic. So
Positive.
this one requires very good. So this is positive. While for exothermic naman, of course, this will be negative.
Negative.
So please take note, Josh, the sign of your enthalpy will help you decide on the type of reaction kung endothermic ba siya or exothermic. Okay? So, ito yung mga usual reactions na naisip mo. So, can you give me an example ng reaction na exothermic? Reaction that releases energy.
Wala po.
Anong reaction ang naiisip mo na exothermic?
Thermite po.
Okay. So you're giving me a specific reaction. Okay. Nasaan ang heat dyan, Josh? The heat will be on what side of the reaction or equation?
Product
You
side.
can just add heat. Okay, so pwede mo lagay plus heat. Yan. That is just to indicate that the reaction is um, yung heat nasaan siya? Nasa reactant side or product side?
Product side po.
Ayun, so ilalagay mo siya dun sa product side. Ayan, good. So that is just to indicate that the heat is being given off. Okay? So exothermic siya ngayon. That's a good example. This is actually anong type to ng reaction, Josh?
Substitution reaction.
Very good. This is a single substitution reaction wherein aluminum will replace your iron in your iron oxide na um, solid form, right? To form Al2O3 or aluminum oxide. So, single substitution reaction. How about endothermic? Meron kang naiisip na any endothermic reaction or process?
Yung sa cold pack po, pero I don't remember the equation at the
Yeah.
moment.
Okay lang yun. The cold packs, di ba, ang mga cold packs natin, so the chemical reactions happening there are actually absorbing the heat in our surroundings. Then eventually, the reaction will occur, making your surroundings to go in lower temperature. So ngayon nagiging cool yung surroundings mo. That's a good example as well. So cold packs are endothermic reactions. So let's now proceed with delta H nut reaction. So ngayon ang tanong kasi natin dito, how can we quantify delta H nut reaction, right? So um, please take note that delta H nut reaction can be derived from three ways. So number one will be the energies of formation. So pag energies of formation, kailangan mo dito yung thermodynamic data table, right? So ang thermodynamic data table, this is a list of substances with the different thermodynamic parameters na nakalist down siya. So we can use that to get the delta H nut reaction. So the second one will be Hess's law. And then the third one will be calorimetry. So we'll be running them one by one, ha? So, yeah. Ah, okay, so let me, ayan, thank you so much. So let's start with the energies of formation. So before we proceed with calculation of delta H naught reaction from formation reactions or energies of formation, let's define first what is formation reaction. Kasi syempre, makikita mo sa table may delta H naught F, right? So
Opo.
eh hindi naman natin pwedeng i-proceed yan ng hindi natin alam. So we need to understand that first. So formation reactions, ang shortcut dito, Josh, is once you form 1 mole, so please take note, you only form 1 mole of a substance from its constituents elements in their standard states or constituent elements in their standard state. So how do we define standard state? So when you say standard states, that will be the most stable form of your element in a ordinary conditions. Can you recall kung ano yung mga ambient conditions natin, Josh?
25
Temperature.
degrees Celsius.
Very
Or
good. So 25 degrees Celsius or
298.7.
okay, good. So 98.15 Kelvin. And ano naman ang pressure mo pag ambient?
1 atmosphere.
Very good. So it's still 1.0 atmosphere. Okay? So yan ngayon yung standard states natin. So standard temperature ambient temperature and pressure when we measure thermodynamic data. Okay, usually kasi Josh, when we do experiments in the laboratory, we'll be using the ambient temperature and pressure. So please take note, this is different from standard temperature and pressure ng gases, right? So STP, iba yun eh. Ito, ambient temperatures to. So whatever the state will be your of your substance, that will be your standard state. Okay, so hopefully clear tayo doon. So kung solid man siya, liquid man siya, or gas man siya, pwede rin siyang atomic lang siya or a diatomic molecule. So please take note, since ang gusto natin, Josh, kung 1 mole lang yung substance mo, there will come a time na ano mangyayari sa mga reactants mo, sa coefficient nila, they will
Minsan po,
become okay, good. Magkaka-fraction siya. This is quite different from what we have learned dun sa balancing chemical equations that we need to make your fractions into whole number. So, why don't we follow it? Kasi may standard definition yung formation reactions mo. Kasi yung value na yon or yung equation na yon will correspond to a specific delta H naught formation value. Kaya ang mahalaga dito, when you write formation reactions, dapat 1 mole lang siya. Sige, practice tayo ah. I'll be sharing my screen lang. Share lang ako ng whiteboard and then I'll give you a compound and then tell me or write the formation reaction. So let's say for number 1, we'll have, let me change this. For number 1, ako ang magre-red, ikaw ang mag-black para alam kong ikaw yung nagsusulat. So for number 1, let's say we'll have an organic compound. Let's say an alkane. So ethane na lang tayo. So C2H8. So let's say gas ang ethane. Okay? And then for number 2, we'll have, let's say, a solid or ionic compound. Let's say magnesium carbonate. Okay? So if you're having doubts with the different elements and their standard states, you can always go back dun sa thermodynamic data mo. Paano kapag nasa standard state yung element? Anong value ng delta H knot formation?
0 po.
Very good, di ba? Zero siya. So ibig sabihin, really stable siya. Sige, go ahead. You now write the standard formation reaction for ethane.
Ano pala? Graph.
Okay, yan.
Second pala yung graphic.
So please take note that the ano nga ito? Ethane there must be in gaseous form. So let's analyze first So ano ang standard state ni carbon, Josh? By the way, ang ethane is made up from carbon and hydrogen, correct? So what is the standard state for carbon?
Solid and graphite.
Okay, the graphite, solid graphite form of carbon will be its standard form. How about for a hydrogen?
Diatomic hydrogen po.
Very
Gas.
good. The diatomic hydrogen gas. So this one, ano yung mga delta H knot formation nitong mga to?
0 po tsaka 0.
Oo, yes, correct. 0, 0 to parehas. Kaya whatever value na meron ka dito, that will be associated for the delta H knot formation ni ethane. Okay. So, kay ethane yan. Meron ba tayong organic compounds dun sa binigay kong thermodynamic data table? Can you try to search lang? Sige. Meron yan eh. Organic. Punta ka sa, I think first page yan or last page. Sa organic substances. C2H8.
Ayun po.
H8.
Nakita ko po kasi C2H6.
Oh, that's C2H6 is ethene. Okay. Ethane. C2H8.
C2H8.
Anyway, parang lang ano tayo.
C2H6 po yung ethane.
Okay. So, if wala dyan, kasi, di ba ang organic compounds kasi ay usually marami yan sila eh. That's the reason why yung mga thermodynamic data table, they will have limited set lang of organic substances. But for ethane, so I look up on it sa internet, but it says here it's negative 84.6 kg per mole. Okay, so parang to appreciate this ay 0.6 kg per mole. Or to interpret this, Josh, so how will you interpret that? Sige nga, give me the physical explanation for this. To form, sige, go ahead.
To form ethene from graphite and hydrogen, you need to input 4.6 kilojoules.
Input? Sige, double check mo.
It's exothermic. So when you combine pala carbon and hydrogen, it will produce 4.6 kilojoules.
To form?
To form
per molecule, per mole of?
Per mole of ethane po.
Very good. Ayan. Yan yung interpretation yan. So, parang as you form ethane, 1 mole of ethane, your reaction will produce 84.6 kilojoules of energy. That's correct. So, how about yan? Magnesium carbonate solid. Sige nga. So, ayun. So, you need to look up for the state ni magnesium. Standard state ni magnesium. Okay, so meron kang magnesium carbonate dyan na value. You try to look up. Para at least napapractice ka na rin on looking up sa values ng mga delta H knot formation. Ay, sige, sorry. Go ahead. Ikaw na. I'll erase na lang. Ayan. Go ahead. Write the delta H knot formation. Good. Okay. Interpret mo ngayon yan.
When you mix magnesium graphite and 3/2 mole of O2, you will produce 1112.9 kilojoules per mole of magnesium carbonate produced.
Correct. So, correct yan. So, this is highly exothermic din. So, it means the formation of magnesium carbonate is highly exothermic. So, I think you're ready with the calculations ng delta H knot reaction. So, let's go back to our slides. So, there you go. So for the first reaction, you need to determine the standard enthalpy change of this reaction. So that's that number one. The number two, that will be your equation. But before we proceed with the calculations of delta H knot reaction, can you recall how do we get the delta H knot reaction from energies of formation? So let's say we have this reaction A, B, B, C, and then D. Give me the formula. Delta H knot reaction is equal to what? Or write the formula, Josh. Go ahead. Okay. So okay lang din naman yan because we can understand that it's formation reaction. But you usually write yung F din sa ilalim ng H. Pero just to indicate nga the substances. It's okay. Intindihan naman natin siya. Okay, good. Okay. Okay, correct. Kasi reactant siya eh. Ayan. Ayan, nawala na yung F mo. Naligaw na siya. Your F is lost already. Sometimes you can have this way or you can write it this way, Josh. Pwedeng ganito siya. Delta H knot formation of A. So alam na natin yan. So pag nagkama ka A, it means it refers to your A. Okay, anyway. But basically, Josh, what is that? That's the
yung po yung H reaction.
Formula. Okay, pero ayan, kunwari, tignan mo yung nasa left side ng term mo.
Some of the enthalpies of formation of the products times their coefficients minus the reaction of the sum of the enthalpy of reactions of the reactants times their coefficients.
Okay, good. So, parang ang gagawin lang natin is to get the summation of the enthalpy of formation of the products multiplied by their specific or respective coefficients minus the summation of the enthalpy of formation of your reactants multiplied to their respective stoichiometric coefficients. So with that, so you really know what to do. You can have the examples now. So, you can write first the examples sa paper mo para kapag nag-share ka na ng screen, you can always recall the the examples. Okay? Okay, so nasulat mo na? Sulat mo muna. Okay, sige po. Ayan. So I'll stop sharing lang po and then I'll let Josh share his screen po so that we can see his solutions. So ayan, so hopefully definitely you'll get this.
So, one.
Parang reminder lang, Josh, before you do the delta H dot reaction, ano dapat yung equation mo, first and foremost? Dapat?
Dapat po products minus reactants.
But I mean the chemical equation. Ano dapat yung chemical equation mo? Dapat muna ay?
Dapat muna po ay balanced.
Very good. So you need to balance first your chemical equation. But for this one, is this balanced already?
Opo.
Okay, good. Sige, continue your work. Okay. So that your solution will be enough or the space will be enough for your solution. Okay, sige. Sige, parang I have a question. Bakit 11.3 lang kaya siya? Dahil, sige, look at your reactants. Sige, you just, di ba, products minus reactants yan, right? So, ano ba yung reactants mo?
Reactants, magnesium and N2O5.
N2O5. So, ibig sabihin, kaya lang 11.3 yan because this is the what?
Yun lang po yung N2O5.
Very good. Because ang value ni magnesium solid ay 0. Yeah, correct. Tama yan. Okay, sige. Continue sa number 2. So, i-check natin after mo masagutan din yung number 2, ha? And the answer will be, sige, wait natin yung answer mo sa calculus mo. So, just make sure that you will type it accordingly sa calculator. Good.
Wow, only 2 kilojoules.
Yeah, sobrang onte, no? Maliit na change in delta H. Okay, so let's check first. So, your answer for number 1 is negative 545.4. So actually, my calculation is negative 546.7. But I used kasi a different thermodynamic data table. So please, this is a reminder as well na kapag may mga set of problems like this, it's very vital that your teacher o kaya kung sino man yung nag-give ng exam, it's usually that the thermodynamic data must be the same. Okay? So may mga discrepancy kasi, Josh, yung mga thermodynamic data na makita mo sa isang book, then from another book, o kaya from another source. So hindi talaga siya totally pares. But since the answers were almost the same, sa akin ay negative 546.7. Quite near yan. Tama yan. This is correct. So let me do annotation lang, Josh. Okay, wow. So correct ito. What can you say about this one? This is highly what? Yan, negative ang delta H. Okay, very good. Highly exothermic. So imagine mo the reaction pala ni magnesium solid and dinitrogen pentoxide will be highly exothermic. That's correct. How about the second one? So check natin ang answer mo. Wait, let me check lang the answer, ha. Okay, same tayo dito. I have plus 2.8 kilojoule. Good. Plus 2.8 kilojoule. So what can you say naman dito? Ano, plus 2.8. This is what?
Almost no change in the temperature.
Yeah. Or almost, ano lang, small change lang siya, no? Kasi endothermic siya, pero the value is very small. So that's correct, ha? Your conclusion is correct. So when you'll have that reaction, your temperature will not almost change. So kung mag-change man yan, kailan siya pwedeng mag-change? Kung madami yung mga involved na reactants. Siyempre, a large amount of substances will mean large moles, right? Large number of moles.
Opo.
So, lalaki ngayon yung value mo. So, that's correct. Pero if you only have, you'll follow tigwa 1 mole lang yan sila, maliit yan na change in your temperature scale. This is correct. So, endothermic, 2.8 kilojoule, correct. So, yan. This is only one way in getting the delta H nut reaction. So, you can write here delta H nut reaction so that you'll have a complete na equation. So, ang pwede lang na ang ina-emphasize ko lang dito, one way pala to get delta H nut reaction is through the delta H nut formation. So, okay. So, let's now proceed with the second na ating second way for getting our delta H nut formation. So, I think nakikita nyo na po ang aking screen. So, the second one will be Hess's law. So, please take note sa ang enthalpy natin is a state function, right? So, when you say state function, Josh, naalala mo pa siya and versus the path function?
Opo.
Sige, differentiate them.
Yung state function po, it only matters only the beginning and the end matters, not how we got there. Well, the path function requires, it sort of needs to know how it got to that state po or situation.
Very good. Correct. So, when you say state function, you're after only with the initial and final states, right? But pero pag path function siya, you need to consider on how did you get to that state. So, the process is very important for the path function. So, we'll be describing the path itself. Kaya nga siya path function. So, but enthalpy is a state function. So, whether what process or whatever process you'll have or you'll use para makuha mo yung enthalpy, it will lead you to the same value. Okay, supposed to be. So, syempre, different ways and different patterns of getting that enthalpy, Josh, will lead to some discrepancies. Pero usually dapat magkakalapit yung values nila. So if that is the case, we can have this concept. Paano kapag may mga delta H, may mga different equations ako, and then we can combine them in such a way, I'll get a desired na equation or my target equation. Can we add or can we have the different delta H as well associated with these reactions para makuha ko yung delta H nut reaction ng target equation ko? Of course, the answer is correct. Yes. And that is your Hess's law. So according to your Hess's law, so when reactants are converted into products, the change in enthalpy is the same whether the reaction takes place in one step or pwede siyang magkaroon ng series of steps. Okay, so you'll have the same delta H nut reaction. So if you have series of steps or multi-reaction, what you need to do is you need to add their enthalpies. Okay, so before we proceed with the calculation itself, excuse me, let's have a review lang kapag may equation ka. So let's say meron kang reaction na ganito, Josh. Tapos may delta H nut siya. Let's say ang value niya ay negative 500. Paano kapag binaliktad ko, Josh, yung equation? Ay, sorry. This is supposed to be an arrow. Paano kapag binaliktad ko yung equation? What happens to your delta H?
It reverses sign.
Very good. Dapat matandaan mo, it reverses sign. And then, what if I have, let's say, eto, tapos, delta H nut, negative 500. Let's say, itong coefficients ko, gusto kong baguhin yan. Let's say, I'll multiply the coefficients by 2. What will happen to your delta H nut?
It will double.
So, magiging ganito siya. Very good. So, whatever factor that you'll multiply to your chemical equation, you also multiply that to your delta H. So, kunwari, kung nag-multiply ako ng 2 for the reaction, bakit favorite ko yung plus? So that is a chemical equation. You also need to multiply that by 2. So those are the rules for manipulating your thermochemical equation. So with this in mind, so we can now calculate the delta H naught reaction using Hess's law. So let's proceed. So for example number 1, use Hess's law to determine the delta H naught for the reaction. So if you will see here, Josh, you'll be given with a target equation. So parang ito yung target equation mo. Target equation, right?
Okay.
Tapos from the target, this is your desired equation. You don't have the delta H naught here of the reaction, right? Pero may binigay na mga series of equations here. And then, by manipulating these equations, actually parang logic siya. Pwede mo siyang i-flip, pwede siyang i-multiply with a certain factor, so on and so forth. You can actually derive the target equation. So with that in mind, you can also calculate the delta H naught. Okay, sige. And medyo may logic ito ha. Sige. Ako yung magsasolve pero diktahan mo kung ano yung gagawin ko per equation. So let's have equation 1, equation 2, and equation 3. So, sige, go ahead. Ano ang gagawin ko sa equation 1 dapat, Josh?
Okay. So, nung una, kailangan po yung C3H8 or yung propane must be on the other side. So, if sure naman
okay.
Yung 2 naman po, it seems na we can just retain it. But we need
good.
2. So, yung sa una po sa 1, 2 times equation 1 muna. Tapos
okay, so ita times ko to sa 2, right? Tama ba?
Opo.
Okay, good.
Tapos plus equation 2 na po. Just as is.
Tapos as is to, okay. As is.
Kasi kailangan po yung propane must be on the other side. So, dapat minus equation 3.
So, flip ito. Flip ko to, right? Okay, sige. Susulat ko siya ha. I'll not be writing the states ha, so that we can have a faster solution. 1/2 O2. Then go to H2O. Pero dahil nag times 2 ako, I'll write 2 here. Sorry, this should be, what is the coefficient of 1/2 O2 now?
1.
1 na lang, very good. So, then yung water mo, this will be 2. Can you give me the delta H naught, Josh?
Negative 571.6.
Okay, thank you so much. kJ per mole. And then, as is yung second equation ko, this will be C3H4 plus 4O2 going to 3CO2 plus 2H2O. And the delta H naught will be the same, negative 1937 kJ. Then lastly, ito if i-flip ko, very important to. So you'll have 3CO2 plus 4H2O going to C3H8 plus 5O2. What happens here delta H now, Josh?
Magbabaliktad pa yung sign.
So it will now become what?
2219.1.
Okay, 2219.1 kJ. Very good. So, and what can you say about the set of equations so far? Mayroon ba tayong makakancel or what? So, add mo siya lahat na.
So,
okay.
2H2O.
Okay, I'll remove this.
Tapos may isa po ulit na 2H2O sa right side. Well, it cancels with the 4H2O po sa left side.
Ayun, thank you.
And then
about the others?
O2 and 4O2 will add up to 5O2, which can be cancelled on the other side din.
Okay,
and then finally, on the second na parang line po, 3CO2 can be cancelled with the other one.
Okay, O2, O2. Correct. Ayan, na-mention niya naman po, sir. Ayan. Para at least parang hindi ko lang yata na cancel. Then what is the other substance na ika-cancel natin?
CO2 po.
Very good. Nasa third line at saka nasa second line. Correct. Right now, the final equation. Ano yung magiging final equation natin? So our final equation will be ito na. Okay, good. Arrow, correct.
Ayun, yun pa yung nahanap.
Yeah. Correct. So ngayon, maganda dito, Josh. That's a good technique ha. You wrote the equation right beside dun sa target equation mo. So you can easily see and compare. Okay, this is my target equation. With this in mind or with that given equation, we can now calculate the delta H na. So i-add mo na lang siya. So what will be the value for this? Yan. So sum lang talaga siya literally. So negative 571.6 plus negative 1937 plus 2219.1. Okay, correct. So double check ko lang yung sagot. Negative 289.5, negative 289.5. Tama. So this is the correct answer. Okay, so ngayon kung napansin mo, Josh, di ba, it's kind of game of logic din eh. Because on how will you manipulate the reactions, it's either you flip them or multiply a certain factor or you just retain them. So with this, I think you're ready for a quite difficult na equation. So ayan. You can copy if ever. Yan. Okay na po ba din, sir,
Okay
yung
na po.
copy? Ayun, thank you so much po. So, yan, for number 2. Ito, special to sa aking puso, Josh, kasi ang number 2 ay binigay pa way back nung college ako.
Opo.
Nung time na yon, syempre, aral-aral din ako. So, luckily and fortunately, I was the only one na nakakuha ng equation na to. So, hopefully masagutan mo siya. Ayan, I prepared this for you. Kasi alam ko you're you're a really good student. So, let's see. Sige. Oh, okay. Clear. Okay, thank you so much. So, ayan. For number 2, so this is quite challenging. Hopefully, ma-challenge ka, Josh. Yan yung gusto ko din eh. So, use Hess's law to determine the delta H naught for the reaction. N2H for liquid. So, this is hydrazine plus oxygen forming your nitrogen gas and liquid water. So, that's your target equation. So, note ko lang to ha. Target equation mo ngayon ito. And then, from your target equation, naririnig pa ba ako, sir?
Naririnig po kami.
Ay, sorry po. Yes po. Rinig din po. Ayun, akala ko kasi may nangyari sa aking sounds. From your target equation, you need to derive the delta H naught from this given set of equation. So, ikaw na bahala dyan kung anong gagawin mo. If i-flip mo ba yan as is, retain, or may yung mga i-multiply mong factor, etc. So, I'll give you siguro several minutes to work on that and then tsaka mo i-share yung screen na. Sige, I'll let you work for 1 to 2 minutes or ilang minutes kaya, Josh? Tingin mo? Sige. Sige. Let's see. Para sabihan mo lang ako, Josh, kapag you're good to share na your screen para isulat mo yung reaction mo or yung solution mo. And then I'll let you share your screen. So I'll stop sharing kasi. Okay, so sige. Ayan, timer starts now. So 5 minutes ba ang gusto mo? Sige, check natin na. Let's see. Baka malay mo, mabit mo yung 5 minutes na mo. Parang, ano nga ito? Pusta. Go ahead. Don't worry, you can do that.
Screen share po.
Mag-i-screen share ka na? Sige.
Opo.
Screen share. Stop share lang. Okay. So, did you wrote the, ulit? The given na? Ayun. Thank you po.
1, 2.
Okay, good. Okay. Sige. Stop share po ako, ha?
Okay po.
Ayan.
Okay.
You can go to the next page na lang for your, number 2. Hess's Law. Ayan. Tatahimik po muna ako kasi para makapag-concentrate si Josh sa pag-solve.
Opo.
Mukhang mabilis mo ito masasolve kasi parang din to eh. Yung mga ginagawa mong sudoku. Parang sudoku siya no? Kasi you need to find factors din on how to get the proper stoichiometric coefficients in such a way na magka-cancel out yung mga intermediates mo. Yung factor mo 9, mataas yan.
Cancel. equation. That is 4 times the target equation. Okay, good. Okay, so I just have to divide.
Okay, so your target equation is N2H4O2 N2H2. Okay. So naka-times ano ito? Parang naka-times 4 siya. So let me yun, may final answer ka na. What's your final answer? Negative 622.5 kilojoule. Okay. So that is your target equation. Wow, this is a different answer from mine. Ako kasi nag-fraction ako. Yeah, puro fractions ang ginamit kong multiplier. This is this is a good this is a good proof or good evidence that even though we're using different ways or methods on calculating the delta H naught reaction, we'll arrive on the same answer. So that's I'll comment lang or I'll check your answer. So for number 1, flinip mo siya, and then for number 2, flinip din, and then you multiply it with factor 3. Then for equation 1, as is yung equation 1. Pero ang equation 4, minultiply mo siya sa 9 times. Then you'll arrive with this equation. So ang equation mo this time, naka-times 4. Kasi you notice naka-times 4 siya, correct? So then this is the value. To get the delta H naught reaction of your desired equation, dahil naka-times 4 siya, you divide it by 4. So actually, the same tayo dyan siya. Wow, correct. Okay, the same tayo ng sagot. Pero yung solution ko, wow, bilis nakuha. So, kasi nga parang sudoku lang sa'yo to eh. So, yung sa akin, ang ginawa kong solution ay yung equation 1 ko, ito, si negative 1, 0, negative 1, 0, 1, 0. Ito, this is my solution. Solution 2. Minultiply ko siya by, I think 1/4. Okay, 1/4 ito. Yan, minultiply ko ito by 1/4. And then, di ko alam bakit ang hilig ko sa fraction. Minultiply ko yung equation 2 ng 3/4 and flinip ko rin siya. Equation 2, flip, then multiply by 3/4. So, yan. Naka-negative 3/4. Tapos, yung isa naman, yung equation 3, flinip ko din. Tapos, minultiply ko by 1/4. So, tingnan mo, even though we're using different factors, pero yung flipping, the same. Ayan, negative, 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 negative. Okay? And then yung equation 4, minultiply ko naman sa 9/4. Yun. 9 pa rin, no? Tingnan mo, if you will notice, minultiply mo siya ng 9.
Over 4. Pero lahat po.
Yes. Correct. Lahat sila puro over 4 na, no? So, ang ginawa ko lang dito, Josh, is na-derive ko na kaagad ito, yung target equation. So, when I add them up, nakuha ko na kagad yung target equation ko. So I don't need to divide everything by 4. But your solution is also another method. And I think mas madali ito kasi mga whole numbers, right? Puro whole numbers yan eh. So ngayon, this is an ingenious way kasi once you get the whole numbers already, mapapansin mo naman, oh, nakamultiply lang pala to sa 4 lahat. Right? Then pag dinivide mo sa 4, makukuha mo na rin yung overall or the target equation. So you'll have also the same delta H naught X. So this is correct. So lahat lang ng akin ay naka-over 4 yung numerator ko. Wow, ang galing. So ayun, this is a good good solution kasi quite different from mine, but it still arrived to the same answer. So I think we're good with Hess's law. So mukhang ready ka na sa sa ibang test Ready ka na ba sa comprehensive exam natin? So yan, wait lang po. I'll share lang po ulit my screen. Then let's proceed with the second the third one. So we'll have the last method for what do you call this? We'll have the last method for getting your delta H naught reaction. So for the delta H naught reaction, the third one will be calorimetry. So yun nga lang, Josh, you'll have two types of calorimetry. You have the constant volume and constant pressure. So ang shortcut dito, Josh, whatever calorimetry you'll have, ano yung type of system mo? Anong type ng system yan?
Is it safe to say na adiabatic?
Yeah, correct. Adiabatic.
Oxygen input. Anyway.
Sa bagay, meron din. But basically, your calorimetric instrument, it's usually termed as adiabatic. So you can also have an isolated system, but actually mas tama yung term adiabatic kasi no heat enter or leaves your system. So please recall that your overall system, itong buong kabuuan ng yan, ng calorimeter mo. By the way, pag constant volume calorimetry, ang term natin sa calorimeter ay bomb calorimeter. So to describe our system, please take note that your bomb calorimeter is actually made up of several components. So we have this thing called the bomb, yung nasa loob. And then this bomb contains your sample dito. Okay, so your sample cup. Okay, or minsan yan, parang siyang weighing boat na maliit or metallic yan, na dyan mo nilalagay yung, or ceramic, dyan mo nilalagay yung sample mo na that will undergo combustion. And then you have here air and then oxygen inlet para enough lang din yung oxygen. And then an ignition wire so that to start the combustion reaction. And then this bomb, ayan, kaya siya tinawag na bomb calorimeter. So, ayan siya, okay? Once combustion occurred din kasi, literally, you'll hear parang a blast. Okay? And yun, para siyang bomb. Yes. May question? Okay, sige. And then, what happens when you have combustion reaction? Generally, Josh, combustion reactions are what type of reactions? Endo or exo? Very good. Exo sila. So they will produce heat. So the surrounding water or the surrounding environment rather dun sa bomb will definitely absorb the heat released by your bomb. Okay, coming from your reaction. Yun yung reason kung bakit yung bomb mo nakasubmerge siya dun sa water and then it's all insulated. So it means your Q system, to get the total Q system or heat of your system, you need to get the Q water dahil siya lang yung mag-absorb, yung Q ng bomb wherein your bomb itself is here, mag-absorb din niya ng certain amount of heat, Josh, because siya yung direct sa contact ng nung combustion reaction mo. And then the Q reaction itself. Okay, so but please take note, no heat enters or leaves, right? So therefore, your Q system is equal to 0. So equal to 0 to. So we can actually manipulate the equation so that we can have this. So we can easily calculate pala the Q reaction by having the sum of Q water and Q bomb, then negative sign. Of course, flipping kasi yan ng equation eh. Okay? And recall, to get Q water, you'll have MC delta T, right? Then to get the Q bomb, heat capacity ng bomb times delta T. Then reaction at constant B, actually we can't get the Q reaction as delta H. What is the reason, Josh? Ano ba talaga ang nakukuha natin pag constant volume?
Delta U.
Very good. We're actually getting delta U. What is U again?
Internal energy.
Very good. Internal energy. So, siya talaga ang nakukuha natin kapag constant volume na calorimetry yung ginagamit natin. So, but in a sense, we can actually approximate delta U with delta H. So, kung ang delta U yung nakuha natin, pwede naman sa approximation method, ano na siya? Yan yung delta H mo. Pero recall kasi, ano nga ulit ang relationship between H and U? Naalala mo yung formula? Sige, go ahead. Sige. Go ahead. Okay, correct. So, H is equal to U plus PV. So, tandaan mo yan ha, mamaya para pag kinuha natin yung relationship between H and U, we'll use that equation. So, ngayon, there's another concept here. What if you don't have the mass for the surrounding water? So, ang binigay lang sa'yo will be a data set wherein you use a standard chemical substance to get the calorimeter, the heat capacity of the calorimeter. This is another method to solve constant volume calorimetry. So we can actually use a standard chemical substance called benzoic acid. Do you have any idea for the formula and structure of benzoic acid? Okay. Okay, ayan. Wow. Good.
Carboxylic acid of benzene.
Okay, so literally tama naman. Carboxylic acid ng benzene. So, yan. That's your benzene and then you'll have your COOH. Very good. So, parang nag-substitute ka lang. You actually substituted COOH to one of its H ng benzene mo. Kaya naging C6H5 COOH. That is your standard substance or standard chemical substance. So, ang delta U ng benzoic acid, Josh, is negative 3225.7 kJ per mole. So, what we want here is, pag ganito, Josh, yung mga ganito yung problems mo, you have a standard substance. It means you'll have data sets here or 2 experiments. May 2 experiments ka usually dito, Josh. So, the first one will be the calibration experiment. Yan. Sa calibration experiment, ibibigay yung mga values ni benzoic acid. Like, kunwari, ano yung mass ni benzoic acid, tsaka yung change in temperature when they perform the combustion of benzoic acid. Ngayon, yung susunod na experiment will be the sample experiment. So, dito na papasok yung real sample mo. Okay? So, what can we get or what can we determine from the calibration experiment? So, we can see here, using pala the delta U of benzoic acid. So, standard ito ha. So, constant to guys. Constant to Josh. Okay? So, you can use this formula. So, whatever moles of benzoic acid you'll have, you just multiply that with your delta U, then all over sa change in temperature. Okay, so now you'll now have the heat capacity of the calorimeter. So from the heat capacity of the calorimeter, you can now derive the delta U combustion. So, di ba recall natin, Josh, ang delta U ay Q over N. Pero dahil ito ay constant volume, QV ito. Paano kapag QP, Josh? Saan to equal? Yung QP over N. Ito constant volume, ito constant pressure. Saan naman to equal? Very good. Delta H to. Correct. That's enthalpy. So, ito ang nakukuha natin pag bump. Okay? So, ngayon, how can we get QV? So, QV can be determined by having the product of C calorimeter. Saan mo nakuha ang C calorimeter mo? Dito, sa calibration experiment. Kaya yung calibration experiment is very important because this is where you will get the C calorimeter. And then from the sample experiment, you just multiply your C calorimeter with the given change in temperature over N, you'll now have delta U. Recall, yung sinabi mo kanina.
If it also involves water po, will you just add the Q of water to the C delta T?
Yeah. Pero actually, Josh, hindi mo na kailangan yung Q water dito kasi na-compensate na siya ng C calorimeter. That's the reason why you use already a standard substance. Okay? Kasi di ba minsan, parang if you will see here, sir, ibig sabihin, tignan mo, you analyze the Q water here. Ito. You need pa the mass of water here, right? Kasi mass ito, right? Mass times specific heat times delta T. Paano kung hindi binigay yung mass ni water? Diba? So, you cannot get Q water. Parang ang mangyayari dito, Josh, yung itong buong to, yung Q water and Q bump, ayun na ngayon yung sa standard mo. Kaya ka nagdalawang experiment, calibration experiment. So that you can easily calculate delta U combustion. Okay? So ngayon yung N dito, is this N refers to the N of your standard? Of course, not. Ito, N ay N to ng sample. So yung moles ng samples mo. So the N here refers to the moles of your standard. Okay? Then lastly, to calculate delta H, kasi what we want kasi ay delta H, we use this H equals U plus PV. Naalala mo kung saan equal tong PV or any equation na may PV na variables?
PV equals nRT.
Very good. The ideal gas equation. Correct, correct. Ayan. Sige. What if I have changing delta H? So, hindi, ay changing delta PV pala. Paano kapag i-change ko tong delta PV? Ano magiging variables mo dyan? Sige. Saan siya equal? Magiging, so if you have changing PV, so of course, ang nag-change dyan, Josh, is yung pressure kasi ang volume mo naman ay constant eh. So, sa kabilang side, sino lang ang pwede mag-change, Josh?
Constant input temperature and syempre po constant gas constant. So therefore, ito pong N yung nag-change.
Very good. Anong R pala ang gagamitin mo dito, Josh?
Yung may joule setup po yung 8.1345 or
8.3145 joule per
liter atmosphere.
Very good. So joule per Kelvin mole. Okay, or mole Kelvin. So make sure na ang temperature mo, Josh, naka-Kelvin muna siya. Okay. So correct. So ang mangyayari, N lang naman ang changing dito. So therefore, delta PV is equal to delta N gas RT. So kaya yun, na-derive natin itong equation na to. So you'll have delta H combustion equals delta U combustion plus RT delta N gas. Correct. So we'll now have this problem. Sorry. Pa-clear nga, Josh. Basahin natin. A sample of solid biphenyl C6H52 weighing 0.5260 grams was ignited in a bomb calorimeter. So initially at 298.15 Kelvin, producing a temperature rise of 1.91 degrees Celsius. Ay bakit ito ay magkaiba na ng unit? So I think Kelvin din ito. Wait lang. Si Kelvin to. Yeah. I think this is Kelvin again. Ayan. So Kelvin yan. Kasi parang bakit magkaiba? Tsaka ano na to, producing a temperature rise. So parang regardless, no? Regardless ng unit. Ito na yung delta T mo, right? So ayan. Take note that you'll form gaseous carbon dioxide and liquid water. So This is a experiment. So, separate experiment to. Analyze natin later. So, ayan. So, in a separate calibration experiment, a sample of benzoic acid, C6H5COOH, weighing, that is the mass of your benzoic acid, was ignited under identical conditions and produced a temperature rise of 1.94 degrees Celsius. Or basically, this is kung ano man yung unit mo ng temp, pwede na rin yan. Kasi para mabilis tayo, Kelvin na lang natin. So for benzoic acid, if you will recall, the heat of combustion at constant volume is known to be negative 3225.7 kJ per mole. With this, we want to get the standard enthalpy. So please take note delta H combustion ang need mong makuha dito, Josh, of biphenyl. Okay? So, let's analyze muna yung problem. Yung first part, Josh, anong experimental data set to? This is your
sample.
Very good. Ito yung para sa sample mo. While for the number 2 o yung second part, this is for your
yung ano po, calibration.
Okay, correct. Or for the standard. Yan. Standard or calibration. That's correct. Sa calibration mo ito. Calibration. Okay? So, tama yan. So, with this, with the given values, how can we determine the enthalpy of combustion? So, sige, na-take note mo na ba yung mga given? You take note first the given para at least kapag nag-share ka na ng solution ng screen, ano ko na lang nasulat mo na yung given sa papel mo. You're good? Okay, sige. Mag-share ka na ng screen or need mo pa ng time to take down the given? Okay, sige. Ha? Sorry. Ayan. Hello. Rinig pa rin po ba ako, sir?
Nadidinig niyo po ako, sir?
Yes po. Ayun. Na-take down na po ba ni Josh yung mga given?
Opo. Mag-share ko ba ng screen daw? Are you ready?
Yes po. Sige po. I'll share. Sige po. I'll stop muna sharing po. There you go po. Josh, you can now share your whiteboard and then you may now start your solution. Yan, third page na tayo. Nakailang page na tayo? Third page na po ba? Yes, third page.
Nadidinig niyo po kami, sir? Okay po.
Yes po.
Okay.
If you want, you can write first the given, Josh. Parang magkaroon ka ng two set ng data. Yan. Parang mayroon kang isang column for the standard experiment or calibration. Pwede ka rin column for sample. Okay, so you begin with the standard. Sige, go ahead. So, very good. You want to get the most of your standard. Hintayin ko matapos yung yung solution mo and then you need to explain that later. good. So, delta U na yan. Pero what we want kasi ay delta H. Sige.
Opo.
Go ahead. Pag hindi na kasha, you can do sa next page na lang. Don't worry. Pwede ka naman mag-next page. Then you can always go back sa previous mong Yan. Okay, good. So, balance first the equation. Wow, good thing in-highlight mo yung Joule. Yan, good yan. Kasi majority of my students, usually they're forgetting that the gas constant is actually in
Hindi po ako
Joule
malalo ko
per
ngayon.
Kelvin. Okay.
I fell through that trap already. I cannot be fooled again.
Yeah, correct. So please take note the delta U that you derived from the first two experiments, it's in kg per mole. So this time it's the other term will be in joule per mole.
Yun na po.
Ayan, so ang liit lang ng ano no ng difference. No?
Pero noticeable po.
Anyway, let's proceed. So balik ka muna dun sa ano mo, sa previous na ano mo. Previous page. Okay, go ahead. Oops. Page 3. You explain now. So, anong strategy mo, Josh?
To get each com, we need to get UCOM first. To get UCombustion, we need the CCAL. To get CCAL, we need the moles of the standard. So, yun po yung ginawa ko po muna. Yung una pong moles. Yung moles ng
Go ahead.
So, we got this the number of moles of benzoic acid. Tapos after that, may mga given naman po na yung delta U standard, tsaka yung delta T. Tinigay naman po yun. So, we can calculate then the capacity.
What's the formula again for CCAL, delta U, and delta T?
Abo.
Sige. Sulat mo lang sa gilid dito. Okay.
It was...
Okay, good. And delta U, the standard, all over delta T. Very good.
So now, nakuha na po yung CCAL. We need to find N sample so we can calculate what delta U com is. Delta U, anong kulay? Delta U Ako naman po natin, we have all that we need. I forgot to put po the delta T for the sample is equal to 0.21 Kelvin. And so, ayan po, na we can calculate delta U combustion from these three. And then now, we need to find the delta N gas to get the U combustion, the H combustion. So, balance the equation and then find how many moles have been deducted. So, ngayon, negative 5 po yung N gas. We can now compute po yung delta H. Delta H equals delta U plus delta gas. So, ito bang R, hinighlight ko po yung joules kasi baka makalimutan ko po na is actually yung joules.
Okay, correct.
What
is that negative 5? Anong unit nun? Sulat mo lang. Negative 5.
moles.
Very good. Para at least makita natin magka-cancel out si Kelvin tsaka si Mole. Then you need to divide everything by 1,000. Sige, go ahead.
Then nga po. Again. It's not that far, pero although that's still more than 100 apples thrown in the air.
Correct. So, parang imagine that's the reason why, there, di ba yung sa explanation natin sa constant volume calorimetry, we can actually approximate delta H combustion with delta U. Kaso technically, hindi naman talaga sila the same value eh. So we can see here that in terms of value, the delta H combustion will be larger than your delta U. Okay? So that's correct. So, correct. Check ko yung sagot ha. So, ang sagot ko ay negative 6,299 kJ per mole.
Yes.
So, ayan. Yep. Naka-ano yung akin, naka-round off ata. So, kasi kailangan mo i-express yan in correct number of significant figures. Ayun pala, Josh. You need to express that in the correct number of significant figures. So, yung next natin.
Yung biggest po na significant figures is 5.
Yeah. Okay. So, we can now have, we can now share. I'll share na yung next ha. So this will be our next na calorimetry. Okay. So the next type of calorimetry is constant pressure calorimetry. So if we have bomb calorimetry for constant volume, we have the coffee cup. And coffee cup calorimetry. Or calorimeter rather, coffee cup calorimeter for this type of system. So please recall, calorimeter is the instrument, calorimetry is the technique. Okay? So for the coffee cup calorimetry, literally coffee cup talaga yung ginagamit dito. If you have styrofoam cups at home, pwede itong gawin. And then yung thermometer, then you can actually observe the reaction or either a process wherein you just mix that or let the reaction happen in an aqueous media, then place it in a styrofoam cup system. So, pero usually...
How does the stirrer work?
Yeah, the stirrer, yung stirrer kahit iganon-ganon mo lang siya, literally the solution there will stir. Literally, hindi namin siya ini-stir na iniikot. Pero ito ha, pwede naman, if this can be rotated, pwede. Pero usually kasi, to make the system isolated, we place here clay or any insulating material. Let's say, pwede rin paper pa na merong mga tapes and all. Pero usually, clay will be better. Steady ngayon yung parang cup mo or the coffee cup, right? So, hindi mo siya may steer. So actually, yung butas na yan, pwede mo siyang ganun-ganunin lang. So the stirrer will move sideways. It still mixed your solution. Okay? So yun lang yung purpose ng stirrer. But ideally, naiikot talaga siya so that your solution can be mixed. You have 2 styrofoam cups here. So ayan. Para kung makikita mo, ito yung first is styrofoam cup and then second styrofoam cup. So 2 layers, making sure or ensuring that you'll have an isolated or adiabatic system. So similar lang din dito. Very simple, no? Very simple yung constant pressure na substitute for a coffee cup. Coffee cup calorimeter is actually a substitute for constant pressure calorimeter din. Kasi sa constant pressure calorimeter, actually metallic na yan, na insulated system, and then you'll have the place hole for thermometer, and then another hole for the stirrer or any other holes. Let's say kung gusto mo may electrochemical, you can also have that. You'll have the same format here, the Q system. So the overall system here, if you will see, composed by 3 pa rin na components. The reaction itself, so kung endo man yan or exothermic, the calorimeter, so kaya ka may Q-cal, and then the Q-water. So let's say, kunwari ang reaction mixture mo, so mag-exo pa rin tayo. So if your reaction is an exothermic reaction, who will absorb the heat? So sino mag-absorb ng heat? water pa rin and your calorimeter, right? What can you say about the Q system, Josh? So, no heat enters or leaves. So, what does it mean?
Zero.
So, your Q system, very good. This is equal to 0. So, if that is the case, no heat change, we can rearrange ulit the equation into this. So, negative Q water plus Q cal. And recall, Q water is MC delta T pa rin. Q cal is heat capacity of calorimeter times delta T. Then, finally, reaction at constant pressure is delta H equals Q reaction. Okay? So, ngayon, with this given scenario, we can actually get directly the delta H. So, kaya madali ma-measure ang delta H, Josh, kasi usually constant pressure ang ginagamit natin. So, when say constant pressure, we're just using the ambient pressure here. Ambient conditions like 1.0 atm. Okay, so let's have our example now. So, here, this is not a reaction. So, please take note, this is not a reaction. So when 1.095 grams of NaOH are dissolved in 150 grams of water in a coffee cup calorimeter, the temperature changes daw from 23.5 degrees Celsius to 25.32 degrees Celsius. So ano nangyari dito? Uminit ba to or lumamig?
Uminit po.
Correct. So yeah, uminit siya. 23.5 to 25.32. So what process is this? Endo or exo?
Exo.
Okay. So you now have an exothermic process. So please take note, I'm not mentioning exothermic reaction kasi process ito eh. Kasi dissolution lang siya. So nilagay mo lang yung NaOH mo, then dissolve mo. The heat capacity daw of the calorimeter is 32.9 degrees Celsius. Joule per degree Celsius. So determine the heat of solution for NaOH. So ang kailangan mo ay delta H solution. Yan. So, delta H not solution. Sige, go ahead. Ayan, take note mo muna pala or take down mo muna yung mga given. Okay na? Sige. Sige, isulat mo muna ha. Yung mga given. So, I don't give you any ideas na kasi yung sa bomb calorimeter, may ano ka na eh, may idea ka na on how to solve that eh. So, I think you're good now. Sige, I'll stop sharing. Then you share now your screen.
Note. Sino ba?
Q solution pa lang yan. We want delta H.
Apo. State of solution pa per...
Okay, correct. Anong gagawin mo na dyan?
Tapos pa lang ang mole. Okay, I see.
Correct. Wala pa yung mole kasi kilojoule pa lang siya eh. Okay, sige, go ahead. So that's your answer? Okay. So actually, ang answer ko ay negative 44 point something. So okay lang yan. May mga minor lang tayo differences. Might be coming from the molar mass na ginamit natin. Kasi ang akin ay approximate molar mass eh. Definitely, baka ang ginamit mo yung mga may up to 2 decimal places. Anyway, with this, explain your answer or explain your strategy, Josh. Okay, how did you arrive to that answer?
So, wait lang po. Okay, so dito po sa delta P, so I calculated muna po I just calculated maybe all the time heat nung una, except for ito pong N, yung molar, number of moles. So basically po yung, I calculated the Q water. Of course, hindi na po kailangan i-give to siguro, i-given to itong heat capacity of water. Ito pong 150 grams. Tapos yun yung delta T. So, nakuha na po yung Q water. And then next yung Q cal. Given naman po C cal. So, C cal times delta T again equals 59.878 joules. So, ngayon po may nakuha na po yung N-sol, which is just negative Q water plus Q cal. So, yung ngayon po.
So, wait lang. Q-sol is what? This is your heat what?
Heat of solution with the given na mass naman po.
Correct. Or this is the amount of heat given off by the specific amount of NaOH na dinisolve, right? So, ilang mass ba ng NaOH? 1.095 ba? Tama ba ako? Yes. Diba? Ibig sabihin doon, yung 1.095 grams NaOH, it will release negative 1.20 kilojoule of heat when you dissolve that in water, in that given amount of water. Continue, Josh.
So ngayon po, I found out this number of moles ng NaOH. And then you just divide the Q-sol, which is 1095. Yung the heat when 1.095 of grams of NaOH are dissolved over these moles. So we can get the heat released per mole of NaOH. So ito na po yan.
Correct. Ayan. So ang answer mo ay negative 43.83. So actually, I searched for the heat of solution of NaOH. So according to sources, it's approximately negative 44.2. Quite near naman. So, or negative 44. So, di ba, pag ni-round up yan, negative 44 na yan. kJ per mole. So, yeah, basically, that's how we do or that's how we calculate Q in using coffee cup calorimetry. So, balik lang tayo sa slide natin, ha. So, ayan, you're really well versed now with our calorimetry or in general, thermodynamics. I think that's it. Okay, so correct. Ayun. So I think we're done with our session today. Oops. So we're done with our session today. So we can have this session. Okay na. So this is a good session wherein we I just noticed na you really learned a lot from thermochemistry and thermodynamics. And you know what? Kasi lagi ko sinasabi sa'yo, thermodynamics and thermochemistry will explain a lot of concepts in chemistry. Not only in chemistry, but also you can use that in physics and biology or other sciences as well. Because upon changing matter, it's always accompanied by change in energy as well. So kung well-versed ka dito, Josh, sobrang advantageous yun kasi you can easily explain yung changes of matter.
So, dapat
So,
you should apply yung thermochemistry daw po to manicurist. Yung
why?
to manicure po daw.
Dahil, sige.
And if you
Ha?
yung sa manicure po, i-apply po sa astro manicurist.
Okay. Anyway, akala ko kasi kailangan yung sa pagmamanicure, yung mga nail polish remover, you want to get the delta H involved in dissolving your nail paint, right? Diba? O may delta H dissolution yun. Pero inaaral nila yun para malalaman nila kung anong percentage ng acetone ang maganda para matanggal kaagad yung nail polish mo, right?
Yes.
So those are really some examples ng applications ng thermochemistry. Very practical and a very useful concept in chemistry and other fields of sciences. So ayun po. Thank you so much po for today,
Much,
and
sir. Thank you very
yun
much.
po, I hope I'll see you po sa next meeting.
Okay po.
Opo. Thank you po.
Thank you po.
Okay, salamat po. End ko na po yung meeting.
Opo,
Okay po.
have a nice evening po.
Yes po, stay safe and stay healthy, Josh and Sir Jay, and sa family po.
Kayo rin
Okay
po.
po.